In last week's episode, we talked about pizza. Let's see what you had to say. FMBH on the subreddit and a couple other people pointed out the great differences between pizza culture in the United States and arguably, a lot of other parts of the world and Northern Europe. Specifically, FMBH talks about Swedish pizza and the idea that when one gets a pizza in Sweden, it is always a personal thing. And so there isn't this cultural idea of pizza is a food for sharing, which I think is really interesting and does align with the time that I have spent in Northern Europe and eaten pizza. But the conversation that followed this I think was really interesting and sort of talks about the commercialization, I think, of the personal pan pizza in the United States is a really interesting thing because I think that a lot of them want you to feel less bad about having an entire pizza for yourself, but still want you to feel like you've had an entire pizza when you're done with it, which is not always a great feeling. Let's put it that way. And so they do occupy, I think, the personal pizza a very strange place in portion sizes because to me they're always look like they're slightly too small, but after you're done eating them, it turns out they're maybe slightly too big. This weekend, Mike Rugnetta mispronounces things. Malnatis. Lou Malnatis. I apologize to my Chicago friends. I have no excuse, other than the fact that I have a long, long history of being bad at pronouncing things. So not necessarily comment related, but I think also very just worth mentioning, there were 2 edits of the video where people took every time I said pizza and strung it all out. And if you would like to experience semantic satiation, if you would like the word pizza to turn into a sound and no longer a word that has meaning, I highly recommend watching both of them, one right after the other. We'll put links to those in the place where the links go. MisterDrProf started a really good conversation on the subreddit about the hegemony of the tomato and how it does not have a necessary place in pizza. I think that there are a lot of people who feel very strongly about this. I am not one of them, but I can respect the idea that the tomato really does, it keeps us all oppressed and under its boot heel as far as pizza is concerned. goodBEan, CSDragon, Fern-ndo, and a bunch of other people pointed out the selection bias that was maybe present in the episode, which was, we were trying to tell a sort of global history of pizza in 8 slices. Haha, how cute. And that requires us to leave out certain kinds of slices. And so there were secondary mentions that just didn't happen, like St. Louis pizza and California pizza and other certain kinds of international pizzas. The one that I really missed out on saying was talking about, I really wanted to talk about French bread pizza because I feel like that has a really big, like a sort of weird importance in my childhood. Like, I think was it Emilio's or something? French bread pizza was a thing that I think I ate hundreds of times that deserved a mention, and a special kind of a Connecticut seafood pizza that I think it's Newport pizza is also a very interesting and like regional version of the pizza. So yeah, there were tons of different kinds of pizzas that got completely left out. So I apologize if I didn't get to your specific regional pizza. Wizzy433 points out that in Brazil there is an argument as to whether or not ketchup belongs on pizza. And I have had a similar argument with people who believe that mustard belongs on pizza. And I would say that in both cases, the people who put those things on pizza, I'm sure they're very nice and they have great personalities. No, but seriously, I think this is a really great facet of pizza, which is something that Undeny points out in their comment, that pizza is something that can simultaneously bring people together while also splitting the ranks and creating factions and causing people to fight, but not in such a way that, you're really causing any long-standing harm, just like really good conversation. And so that is why, as Undeny says, there cannot be such a thing as too much pizza, just like there's not such a thing as too much good conversation. So I love it. I think this is great. Samuel, I prefer to think of pizza and sandwiches as more of a Deleuzian assemblage. They are a collection of heterogeneous elements that come together to sort of form a relationship with the social world around them, and then they all become a sum that is greater than their parts. Also, yes, it's definitely food. If there is one very large lesson that I have taken away from making the pizza episode, it is that the pineapple jalapeno fandom is much larger than I thought it was, and I no longer feel alone. Corroder, yes, down the street from where we shoot Idea Channel, there is a pizza place called Vinny's, and they have certain kinds of specialty pizzas. They have they call it the Special Board, B-O-R-E-D, and they occasionally have things like the baked macaroni and cheese pizza, but my personal favorite is for a little while, you could get slices with tiny hamburgers on them. Not sliders, but tiny hamburgers. And they even sold a slice topped with smaller slices of pizza. Jason Smith, for better or worse, the answer to that question was yes. Finally, this is not comment response related, but I'm so excited about it, and I'm really proud of it. Look what we can do now. Just wait for it. Just give it a second. We're getting there. We're almost there. See everybody in 2 weeks.